Today's video might be a little bit weird. I've been attempting to make a review of this thing here, and I've been finding it pretty difficult. So instead, we're just gonna kind of wing it. Let's get undone. Gerald Undone. He's crazy. What is happening, everybody? I'm Gerald Undone, and today we're talking about the Insta360 ONE X. Now, as I alluded to in the intro, today's video was a difficult one for me to make for a few reasons. First of all, I don't like making the same video that's already been made before, and because this is a popular product that's been out for a few months now, there's already a ton of videos on it. And to be honest, I've been struggling to find anything original to say about it. Second, the way that this product is positioned in the market is peculiar to me. It's branded as an action camera, but it's clearly a 360 VR cam. It's not that it can't be used as an action camera, but I can't help the feeling that it's being marketed as an action camera to help combat the declining interest in 360 video. So that made it difficult to figure out which perspective I should even be testing this device from. And to make matters worse, I'm one of those people that doesn't particularly enjoy 360 video. But lastly, on a hardware level, if you remove the aspects like the 360 stitching and the VR capabilities, basically the things that make it unique over the GoPro or the Osmo Pocket, basically what you're left with is a slightly more expensive camera with worse image quality. And that didn't seem like a very fair position to start reviewing this camera. But anyway, enough complaining. Those are the issues I faced when formulating this video, but I have come up with some solutions. So to deal with problem one, the fact that everything has already been covered, I'll use this as an opportunity to shout out some fellow creators, something that I probably don't do often enough. So first up, Philip Bloom made a tremendously thorough video on the ONE X. It's beautifully shot and shows off some impressive usages while remaining realistic. Not everybody wants to strap their camera to an eagle or use it to film base jumping in exotic locales. And so I like that Mr. Bloom shows us that the ONE X can capture day-to-day activities in interesting ways. Next up, we've got Lok Cheung's video, which I enjoyed because it's from a more skeptical perspective, and it's probably one of the first ones that I saw on the product. This is a great video for someone to watch if they know absolutely nothing about this product line, and I also appreciated his comparison between this model and the previous gen. Lastly, one of the more recent videos that I saw on the topic was the Everyday Dad's video, which was a bit of a roundup between the Insta360 ONE X, the GoPro Hero 7, and the DJI Osmo Pocket. He looked at them from an action camera perspective and compared the elements that would be important for that. So you've got stabilization, mounting options, durability, and so on. There's tons of great tests and information in that video. All right, so since those guys have covered all that stuff so well, I'm not gonna talk about that stuff. Go give them your views, they deserve it. But one thing that I will continue on from the Everyday Dad is the durability conversation. Problem number two about this video that I raised was, what kind of camera is this? I think that when you say action camera, a lot of people envision something that can take a beating. That's probably what GoPro is most famous for, and while I like the design of the ONE X, which we'll talk more about in a minute, it's definitely not GoPro tough. And the way the lenses protrude and the way the weight is distributed tells me that this is not something that you're going to want to be dropping or banging around. So what I think this is instead is a camera that captures everything. The entire 360-degree field is captured and in focus. And that aspect is handy for action because it makes for a great set it and forget it style of shooting that lets you focus on what's important, which is the action that you're actually doing, and feel confident that you probably got the shot. Because it's pretty much impossible not to with the ONE X. That's kind of the point of the device. You pretty much always get the shot. And then the app allows you to compose, stabilize, and apply motion to the footage that you captured after the fact to achieve sequences that would otherwise be impossible with a one-person crew. But that doesn't make it an action camera by my definition, but it does make it a uniquely convenient camera. And I want to share with you my new favorite application for that convenience in just a moment. My last problem that I raised in the beginning of this video was that if you ignore the 360 aspect, aren't you just choosing a camera with worse image quality? And my opinion on that now is yes and no. Whenever you choose gear like this, there's always going to be concessions that have to be made. You have to go into this product knowing that it's not going to look as good as the Osmo Pocket or even the latest GoPro, and especially not as good as a full-size camera system. But in exchange for trading off those pixels, you get that capture everything, otherwise impossible convenience we were just talking about. If you're not going to need that flexibility of perspective when filming yourself, then this camera makes absolutely no sense to buy. But when you do need that flexibility, it's the only option. And from a value standpoint, the Insta360 ONE X is the best version of that option available today today for the money. And I'd like to back that statement up a little bit by telling you some of the things that I was impressed with while using this device. Again, I'm going to try and not repeat all the things that those other videos I've already said, but I'm pretty sure that Insta360 sent me this device because of my review of the DJI Osmo Pocket. And in that review, I was quite critical of many user experience aspects of the Osmo. And so if I'm willing to complain about the little things, I should also be willing to compliment a company when they get the little things right. And so here's my list of things that Insta360 got right with the One X. It has a removable battery. I know that many of you commented on the Osmo video saying that that was a non-starter for you because the Osmo does not have an interchangeable battery. Well, that's not a problem here. It's got great packaging with little labels on the packaging so you know what's in each compartment and what it does. It's kind of like a little micro quick start guide while you unbox. It's a great idea and not enough companies do this. It comes with a complete collection of accessories. You've got a strap, a protective carrying case, some little gimmicky doodads, and a quality charging cable. The optional accessories are quite good too. Insta360 also sent over their invisible selfie stick and spinny tripod combo that they call the Bullet Time bundle because it's intended to be spun over your head like a maniac while you pretend that you're in the Matrix. I think the quality of these add-ons is great and the price is decent, and I particularly like the selfie stick and using the Bullet Time grip as a mini tripod. But I find the whole Bullet Time spinning it above your head thing to be a bit of a gimmick, and I don't really like gimmicky features when it comes to camera gear. So sorry Insta360, I'm happy to use these things in more conventional ways, but I'm not going to be spinning this thing above my head. Okay, maybe just once. I also like that they included all three USB options: Lightning, USB Type-C, and Micro Type-B. In my previous Osmo Pocket video, I complained about the same thing, that the Osmo didn't have Micro Type-B, and in the comments you guys were saying, yeah, well, no new phones make their devices with Micro Type-B, so why do you care? It doesn't change the fact that there's millions of devices in circulation right now that still have that Micro Type-B connector on it, and as Insta360 proved, it's not that hard to include it. So good job to them. I also complained that the activation process was tedious and silly on the Osmo Pocket, and I didn't like some of the phone requirements. Now this device definitely needs a phone, but the activation process was so much easier. I didn't need to create an account or watch some janky video. It was just a prompt that said, you need to activate. I pressed activate, then it said it was activated, and I moved on with my day. And the connection options to the phone are wireless without having to buy an accessory, or tethered over a cable without having to suspend the device on a tiny connection, which means there's going to be less stress on the ports because it's separated via the cable. Which is another pro to the cabling and design aspects, which I said I would get into earlier. All of the cables are right angle connections on the device side. So stress on the port is going to be minimal. This is a smart design and feels really secure as well. I appreciate well thought out quality cables and connections. And the USB port is on the side of the One X, not on the bottom, which is something that I complained about on the Osmo Pocket. Because you know what is on the bottom of the One X? A 1/4 thread, something again that I wish was included on the Osmo Pocket. Aesthetically, I think the device is really sharp, and the 2-button design is quite capable once you get used to navigating with it. Overall, the experience in terms of design, unboxing, accessories, and setup was excellent, as close to perfect as I expect from a company. So bravo, Insta360. Now with a device like this though, another huge part of the user experience is the actual shooting, and then the editing and 360 stitching. Now the shooting part is incredibly easy, and that's kind of the whole point. Just put it on a stick and make sure the stick is directly underneath it and not on an angle, and press record. Like I said, all this stuff has been covered by those other videos, but from a shooting perspective, it's really intuitive and straightforward. And when it comes to putting the footage together, I enjoyed the app. It has mixed reviews in the App Store, but I didn't experience many issues. Maybe by the time I'm looking at it, updates have already fixed some of those bugs. I tested it on a couple different platforms. On the Samsung Galaxy S7, which is a micro USB Type-B connection. It was fast, responsive, and worked really well. I love all the options that you have to manipulate the shots after the fact. I did have one issue with iOS though. On the iPhone, the 5.7K option, you could shoot it and it was all fine and playback and everything, but once you downloaded it onto the phone in order to edit it, it wouldn't. Sometimes it was kind of buggy, it didn't like to be rotated, it would kind of freak out, and it would crash sometimes. But if you used a 4K version, it worked extremely fine. So that might be a bug that might affect you if you're an iOS user. One issue I did have though when it comes to editing is with the desktop app. It's pretty empty in terms of functionality. I like that it included a plugin that allows you to import the unstitched footage directly into Premiere Pro, but that leaves you with only a single display mode, the equirectangular, which is basically just a flattened image that I find creates some strange proportions. And the 360 desktop app is not much better. It does allow you to apply flow state stabilization and to export it into a more convenient file container, but that's pretty much it. You can't do any of the other cool stuff that you can do on the mobile app, and again, you're stuck with an equirectangular display. According to the forums, this wasn't always the case, and for the previous model, the desktop app had more functionality. So maybe this is something that we'll see added in the future, but as of right now, I do find it a bit disappointing because I definitely prefer to work on my computer than on my phone when it comes to video editing. Alright, so lastly, I said that I would tell you my new favorite application for this device. I don't know who else is going to watch this video or what your specific usage case is, but I do know that the majority of my subscribers are photographers and videographers, many of who are one-person operations. And for you guys, I've got a great application because I've decided that the Insta360 ONE X is the perfect behind-the-scenes camera for your photo and video shoots. You can pretty much just put it anywhere and let it run for a spell while you're on the job, and then when you get home or have some downtime, you've got some prime BTS content for social. And it even provides a 9:16 vertical option if you want to make some exports for Instagram stories. It's awesome, and it takes the stress out of trying to do behind-the-scenes stuff when you should be concentrating on your actual shoot. You can trust that you likely captured something usable, because that's basically what the Insta360 excels at. And the mounting options are nearly infinite because of the 1/4-20 thread on the bottom, so you can even stick it in the hot shoe of your camera or somewhere on your rig for a different perspective. Anyway, that's all I have to say about the ONE X for now. If you haven't heard much about it and you want to know more, make sure you go check out those other videos and channels that I recommended. I know that this video was all over the place, but I do hope that you're able to glean something of value from it, and I think the behind-the-scenes idea is somewhat of a novel use. But I'd love to know your thoughts on it. Could you see yourself doing just that, using a camera like this to capture every angle behind the scenes of your photo video shoots? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. But that's going to be it for me. I hope you found this video helpful or at least entertaining, and if you did, make sure you leave it the old thumbs up and consider subscribing if you haven't already. But if you did not find this video helpful or entertaining, feel free to hit the dislike button twice. Alright, I'm done.